Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you guys how to replace the Carriage drive motor on a Ri2000. Before we get started, please make sure your unit is completely off and also the power switch in the back is turned off. We want to make sure our Carriage is set towards center of the printer, and if need be you can go ahead and cap it. Next we're going to remove the encoder. Before that, I'll let you guys who join our channel, please make sure you subscribe, join the channel, let us know what else you guys want to see. If you have any pending errors, please call Rico Tech Support, start a case with them. This video is just for reference. But if you have any issues, if you have to create a case, please contact them, start a case. You don't want to avoid your warranty by not starting a case and replacing parts on your own. Alright. So that being said, I'll go ahead and add the link to how to contact them on the comments below. I'll also add the part number for this motor. First thing we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and place some napkins right above the rear rod. The reason for this is we're going to remove the encoder. We don't want to get any grease on it. Now to remove the encoder, we're going to come over here towards the left side of the printer. And you're going to see a small little stainless steel bracket right here. We're going to push this bracket in with one finger. With the other hand, we're going to go ahead and unhook it. And then we're going to carefully grab this encoder. Unhook it from the other end, and we're going to gently pull this out. We're going to put this encoder on a nice flat surface, somewhere where it's not going to get damaged or stepped on. Okay. Once that's removed, we're going to go ahead and remove the screws for that motor. As you can see here, we're going to remove two screws. It's going to be 1 and 2. Now, to release the belt from that gear, what you want to do, you want to pull this belt towards you and spin the motor, and that should pop right out. Also make sure you keep an eye on this belt when you put it back in. We don't want to put this back in and have it be twisted like so. You want to make sure the belt is set correctly when we put this back in. Next we're going to go ahead and remove these two screws that hold the motor in place. That's 1 and that's 2. You can go ahead and hold the back of the motor so that way it doesn't fall towards the back of the unit. I like to put one hand behind here. And you can see, as you can see here, I'm moving the motor with my hand. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove the screw the rest of the way out. A good idea is to have a screwdriver that has a magnetic tip so that way you don't lose your screws. Once that's removed, we're just going to carefully push the motor towards the inside of the unit. Now towards the back of the unit, or the back of the motor, you're going to see how there's one cable connecting this motor right here. Just going to go ahead and carefully grab those cables nice and tight. We're going to disconnect that motor, and we're going to pull it out. Okay, to replace it with the new motor, first thing we're going to do, we're going to reconnect this connection. And we're going to gently insert that motor back in. You can go ahead and put your finger, or your pinky finger, inside that opening in the front, so that way you can kind of guide that gear into that opening. Okay, as you can see there, I got it in. Next, I'm going to go ahead, holding still the back of the motor. We're going to go ahead and reinsert those screws. There's one right there. And let me find where the other screw went. Where'd you go, little screw? Alright, since it seems to be behind the ink sump, I'm going to go and remove that as well. If you see here, you have your left ink sump. there's going to be one screw right here. We're going to go remove that screw. We're going to grab the ink sump from both ends, 1 and 2, and we're going to just carefully lift this up. There we go. Oh, and there's our screw right back there. There he is. Okay, we're going to go ahead and reattach the screw. Now you want to make this hand tight. Just give it a quarter turn once you feel it touching the metal. You don't want to over time this. You don't want to strip anything. Once that's in, we're going to go ahead and reinsert our left ink sump. Alright, that's back in place. We're going to reset our screw. And we're going to reattach our belt. Keep it in mind that we want this belt to be nice and straight. As you can see here, I'm going to get the belt here. I'm going to make sure this belt has no twists in it on both ends. Okay, that looks good. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull on this belt. As you can see here, I'm holding with 2 fingers. I'm going to pull towards the left, and I'm going to put it right over the gear, and I'm going to spin that motor using the belt, holding 1 finger on top of the belt, and see how kind of that slides back in there. Okay, once that's in there, I'm going to remove my paper towels. I'm going to inspect my belt, make sure I don't see any turns or bends. The belt is not set correctly on both ends. I'm going to move my carriage back and forth just to make sure that it's moving smoothly. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reattach my encoder. Once again, I'm going to place the carriage towards the center of the unit. I'm going to put my paper towels back in place because I don't want to get any grease on that encoder. If you got some grease in your hands at this time, go ahead and pause the video, go wash your hands. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. Now, from the left side of the unit, I'm going to feed the encoder towards the right. Keep it in mind that that little notch, or the corner part of the encoder, is going from left to right, and that notch is facing downward. Go ahead and reinsert that into that opening. Now, if you feel your encoder is hitting something, retract it back a little bit, and then continue to insert it. Okay, that seems to be most of the way in. I'm going to go ahead and go on this side. I'm going to pull that encoder across. Okay, and I'm going to go over to my right side, and I'm going to go ahead and hook the encoder back onto that little hook. Then I'm going to come back to my left side, and I'm going to reattach that encoder to its holding bracket or tensioning bracket. Once again, being real careful with this. You don't want to damage this encoder. You don't want to twist it. I'm going to go ahead and push. I'm going to push on the stainless steel tab right here with a little tensioner. And I'm going to reattach that encoder. I'll go ahead and show you guys a close-up of what that should look like once it's reattached. Just like that. You want to make sure your encoder is nice and straight. There's no twists. There's nothing dirty on it. You didn't get any kind of grease or any smudges on it with your fingers. I'm going to make sure here on my right side that is completely hooked onto right here. Okay. Once that's already in place, I'm going to go ahead and remove my carriage cap. I'm going to also remove my paper towels on a downward motion, so towards the inside of the unit. And then I'm going to go ahead and close my cover and turn my machine back on. And that's how you replace that motor. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe. That's going to be the little R towards the bottom right of this video. Leave some comments, some notes. Let us know what other videos you guys want to see. And we'll go ahead and see if we can get those up for you. Thank you again guys. Don't forget to subscribe and have a good rest of your day.